All right. Thank you so much, Pastor Duane and his lovely wife, Charlene. So, Pastor Duane works at Portico Church, which I have rented space, not rented, but used space there for the last few years. And then I met Charlene when we did a workshop there recently at Portico. So I got to meet Charlene at long last in person at that point in time. So that's fantastic. And Charlene is a psychotherapist as well. So in preparing for this premarital book, I thought, oh, that they might be a great couple to connect with. And I'm trying as much as I can to meet with couples. So I interviewed my supervisor who um, does premarital workshops with his wife. And so it was nice to kind of get the couple perspective, right, on things. So thank you so much for coming and being part of this. So maybe you can kind of introduce yourself a little bit and just say what kind of experience you have with pre-marrieds, working with pre-marrieds.
Okay, I'll go first. So my name is Duane Henry. I've been serving as an ordained minister for the last 25 years, and I've been in full-time ministry for the last 27 years. I would say of those 25 years that I've been ordained anyway, and working in the ministry as a pastor, um, my experience with engaged couples would have begun probably at the midway point of my first church appointment. So that would have been, if we go back in time with that, so I would say I've been working with engaged couples, married couples, for the last maybe 20 years, maybe 20 years. Uh,
Wow.
Now, as my roles changed, that involvement increased. So when I was serving at the church previous to the one that I'm serving at now, I was the lead pastor as a very small church. And obviously, I was the one who was doing the marrying and so on and so forth. And that's when um, the work with engaged couples increased quite a bit. So that would be the extent of my experience. I would say since that time to now, and now because of my role at my church right now. So one of the things I do is pastoral care, and part of pastoral care is premarital work with engaged couples. It's also pastoral counseling for married couples. And on occasion, I've had the opportunity to have Charlene, my wife, work with me. Um, and when she's not in the room, a lot of times I will ask her opinion about different things while I maintain the
Confidentiality.
privacy of the
Mhm.
couples and so on and so forth.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. Amazing. So many, many years. So you're well versed. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
for a
Charlene?
25-year-old, I've been doing a bit.
Yeah, exactly. You started when you were a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And Charlene, can you talk a little bit about your psychotherapy work and if you see premarital couples in that context too, or is it mainly with the church or?
Yes, so I graduated from Tyndale in 97. Um, did work with the church, did work in prison, and then started doing EAP counseling in 2008. And so I've done work um, for agencies and on my own. So now I'm currently in private practice. I do see couples, and yes, I sometimes see premarital couples as well. And it's been also like over the years. So yeah, over the years I've been able to sit with Duane as well, and I enjoy doing that. Like he's the minister, so he does the the marrying, and then I would sit with him for the premarital for some of the
Mm-hmm.
viewing, and it's been fun to do that. And in my practice, I've
Mm-hmm.
sat with couples as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Amazing. Fellow Tyndale grad. Yes. Love that. Okay, so You're both obviously well versed with working with premarital couples over a long period of time. So, what would you say are some pain points or challenges that premarital couples face?
All right. I find pain points would be have to do with families of origin.
Yeah.
Uh, so many times, couples that I see, they are bringing in their family origin. So the way that they used to do things, the way that they expected things, that sort of thing. So they're bringing that into the relationship, and a lot of them, I think the
Mm,
deeper pain point with that is how a lot of them don't realize that. They don't realize that the effect that the family that I came from is going to have on my marriage, the effect that the family of my fiance is going to have on our marriage. Um, and then I would say another pain point would definitely be the communication, whether it's just bad communication or lack of communication. That's what I would find.
Or
Um,
assumptions with communication.
what's that?
Or assumptions.
Assumptions about communication, yeah. So that, well, I guess that could fall under bad communication, right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and I think maybe just the third thing is, I think there's just a general, I would say there's a general naivete about what marriage is with the couples that get married. And I guess that makes sense because they've never been married before. But I think some or most, they're not really cognizant of the amount of work that a marriage takes. So a lot of people
mhm,
think, oh, it's love and it's romance and it's a desire and it's all of those things. But
mhm,
the amount of work that's required, a lot of
mhm.
them, they're like, I didn't really sign up for that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they feel like it should just come easy. If we love each other, it'll be easy, but really being clear on what the expectations are and the work that it takes. Yeah. Good points. Yeah, family of origin communication, um, managing expectations or having conversations about it. Okay, amazing. And Charlene, what do you think?
Yeah, well, one of mine was, well, those two things came up for me as well. And
Yeah.
I would think I want to add just overall how they manage stress, how they're managing stress as a couple. I think that would come up.
Yeah.
Stress with, the wedding of itself, because it's premarital, stress with like managing their finances, managing, and then sort of because they're coming together as a couple, they're now trying to figure out how they're going to do that as a couple versus doing that alone. And that brings up, because, different people manage stress in different ways. That
Mhm.
brings up a lot of sometimes conflict, sometimes disagreements, misunderstandings, and issues to work out. So that's the one that I would
Mm,
add to what Duane said. That I see that
mhm,
a lot. Yeah. And I guess, I mean, I think that the big piece with family of origin I want to bring up again too, you know, um, what the journey will look like boundaries wise,
mhm,
you know, yeah, roles and responsibilities and with regard to interaction with the family of origin, the in-laws.
mhm,
So it's not just the
mhm,
influence, but like the interaction. How much or how little, how much play they have, how much say they have,
mhm,
um,
mhm.
and the
Yeah,
expectations there and under the understanding around that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, for sure. All very real problems that couples face. So what would be some solutions to some of these pieces? Like we can kind of walk through one by one, right? Like in terms of family of origin, we can start with that. What would be some strategies?
I would say with a family of origin, I think you have to go in with the mindset of um, discovery. And I think you have to go in with the mindset of, I need to learn about my partner's family. I need to have an open mind. So not to make any judgments because if we were looking at family of
Hmm.
origin and saying, well, I'm going to wait until I find the perfect family, then I'm going to marry that person, it's not going to
Hmm.
marry because every family has their stuff.
Right.
So it's almost like the same way you would approach differences in a marriage. You want to, as best you can, you want to go in there and be like, I'm going to have a discovery mindset, meaning I'm not going to have judgment. I'm just going to
Mm-hmm.
learn. I'm just going to discover. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that would be my thinking in regards to family of origin. Charlene, I don't know if you want to add or.
Yeah, I was gonna like I appreciate what you said. The word that comes up for me a lot when that helps with the no judgment is curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
Curiosity around how the family of origin, like what patterns you're bringing from your family of origin, and
Mm-hmm.
how these patterns are playing out in your relationship. And not with judgment, just with curiosity, because we all have them and they will show up, and they will influence how we interact, and they'll be different. We will have differences. And
Yeah.
it's not good or bad, it's just it's different. And if we could
Mm-hmm.
if we could be curious and aware, and like
Mm-hmm.
Duane said, discover them, pay attention to
Mm-hmm.
them, and say, okay, these ones are helpful. These are ones that have
Mm-hmm.
kept me resilient and strong and kept our family strong. These ones
Mm-hmm.
are not as helpful because they clash. These
Mm-hmm.
ones, are ones that maybe we have to tweak because, they don't work for us. We're at a
Mm-hmm.
different time, we're different people, we're in a different, for some couples, it's because we're in different countries. So what their
Mm-hmm.
family of origin did in their other country of origin, you can't do in the country that they're living in. Lots of.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you,
Mm-hmm.
you're curious and you discover and you become aware, and how do you tweak?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If I
Yeah.
could, if I could add to that too, just the
Mm-hmm.
whole thing about doing a geneogram, I think that would be
Mm-hmm.
very helpful. Some
Mm-hmm.
couples may not want to go that far, but if you do, it's very interesting the patterns that you find.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Yeah. I think that's great. And I know something like when you talk about family systems and you examine the family, it's really helpful to do that genogram and just be able to have it all laid out and then see dynamics and who's close, who's distant, where's cutoffs, what are some habits and things that might that you might observe in family of origin, and then like you said, Charlene, kind of bringing that in to the relationship and what's playing out, and then having conversations around what do you consciously want to continue on that are good things that you want to continue from the family of origin, and what are not, right? What are not things that you want to continue on, and making that decision. Yeah, very good. Okay. Um, And then you said, Duane, around, I know we could like spend a whole hour on family. Like I know there's like at
Yeah.
least like five more, follow-up questions that I have for that. But I also am mindful of time and want to also hit up the other ones too. So in terms of, the communication issues, Duane, that you had mentioned, so, what would be some strategies, helpful tools or strategies around communication, assumptions?
Yeah, I think I guess the first thing that comes to my mind is you have to be committed to practice it. You got to be committed to practice it. You also have
Mm-hmm.
a respect for different communication styles. So your partner most likely does not communicate, not all the time, but most likely does not communicate the exact same way that you do. So you've got to respect how they communicate. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if the couple or if couples are finding that their communication maybe is antithetical, like they're always going at each other, then it's almost like now you've got to practice a brand new form of communication. But again, I just emphasize practice because when you're practicing something, you're not going to get this in a week, you're not going to get it in a month, and it's probably going to take years. But
Mm-hmm.
if you can see movement in that area of your relationship, it'll be encouraging. You'll be able to say,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well, when we started, we were bickering a lot, or we were stonewalling, or we had contempt. Like, we talk about the four
Mm-hmm.
and all that business. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if we can look at it in a month or a year or 2 years and say, well, we knocked one of those, we're no longer doing the stonewalling. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
we're
Mm-hmm.
still working on the other ones, but we have progressed. With that being the
Mm-hmm.
again, practice allows for that. Practice allows for like we tried, we're communicating, we're trying to find each other's communication styles. And I also I like suggesting resources now. A communication
Mm-hmm.
resource? I don't know. That might be for Charlene to say, but
That's more
because
her realm.
yeah, because I don't know any. I mean, we use some premarital aids, but as far as I would suggest, none come to my mind right now.
Duane.
Great, great. Well, I mean, Melissa, you're a Gottman person, and so
Yes.
the seven principles to making marriage work is a great
Yes.
resource.
Yeah.
A book that Duane just read that I think is great and I think is
Mm-hmm.
helpful is Permission to Feel. That is a
Mm.
great book. And the book that you're gonna write, the book that is coming out, it's
Yes.
gonna be a great
Thank you.
resource.
Thank
I
you.
think
Thank
I
you.
think that when it comes to communication, as you were talking, Dwayne, I thought of, we're doing this for premarital couples. So,
Mm-hmm.
well, I know Dwayne has experienced both sides. He's experienced the couples that even though they love each other and they want to get married, they discover that as they're coming down to the date, there's a lot of friction, which is very
Mm.
versus um other couples, where, they are in love and they are, they're just, to use a phrase from another couples theorist, they sort of like, what is it called? They're so ingrained. I can't remember the word now, but they're so into each other that they're not really
Mm-hmm.
seeing their differences, you
Like
know.
codependent or
No,
enmeshed?
it's not a menstrual codependent. I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
It's have you heard of Ellen Bader and Pete Pearson, developmental
Mm-hmm.
couples? They talk about being um their first stage where there's it's the symbiosis. They're so into each other's symbiotic
Mm-hmm.
relationship. So they all this everybody, everything's beautiful. Everything is great. You know,
Right.
taking anything they're not saying anything's wrong, anything's
Right.
they just everybody's just agreeing. Everybody's
Yeah.
and so when you talk about communication, they don't um, they don't communicate because somebody is just agreeing.
Yeah.
And then,
Right. Right.
and so I've seen both sides. I think
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I like the whole idea Dwayne talked about with the whole thing with practice. I think that's important.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think when you're all agreeing with each other, it's great because you can actually try to, you know, pay attention and
Mm-hmm.
practice the listening skills and giving each other space to talk because everybody's agreeing.
Mm-hmm.
But when they're stressed, but they're trying to get married and they're going at each other, I think what's important there is emotion regulation,
Mm-hmm.
right? And practicing being able to regulate internally, like take care of your own
Mm-hmm.
body when you find yourself building that awareness of when you're having a conversation and you are starting to escalate on the inside,
Mm-hmm.
and being
Mm-hmm.
able to hear the other person, hear where you don't agree,
Mm-hmm.
be able to hold your own pain and really
Mm-hmm.
listen to the other person. I
Mm-hmm.
think like
Mm-hmm.
those are things to be like to know that okay, it's okay to be angry and it's okay to be upset and be able to hear the other person out. Hold your
Yeah.
stuff and hear the other person out. Own your stuff and hear the other person out. That
Yeah.
listening piece, despite the disagreement, it's okay to disagree. So
Yes.
I hope I didn't say, I hope that makes sense.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. And being able to just be honest with each other, right? Even though you know the other person might not agree, and that's okay, right? But still
Yeah.
saying it anyway instead of avoiding.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. exactly.
So good. Okay. And then the other piece, Dwayne, that you had mentioned was that naivety. So, what might be some strategies to manage that?
I would think the biggest strategy would be for couples who are getting married to talk to couples who are married and couples
Mm-hmm.
for a long time. I think experience, good lived experience, learned experience is the one of the best teachers. So I would recommend that to couples so that they have a real understanding. And I would also recommend that couples are going to have they're going to have a perspective already from their own family.
Yeah.
They're gonna have a perspective from what they saw in their parents' marriage. Some of those perspectives they're going to know may or may not be the best perspective. So I would suggest that couples would seek the counsel of couples who've been married for a significant period of time. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
just to hear the real life, how they walk through different situations, will equip a couple immensely as they begin their lives together.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's great. And I know at Portico, you have that kind of built into the programming there, right? Like there's the couple who are already married and they're like mentors for the pre-marrieds coming up. And I know it's been a privilege to come and speak to that group myself as well. And that's where I met Charlene there too. And so I think that's great. I think that's great to be able to offer that space, right, for couples to learn from each other, but also from someone who, like a couple who are already married, and they can share some wisdom along the way, and then the pre-marrieds have that opportunity to go, right? Like they know who to kind of go to if they have questions along the way or just are seeking some advice, and they that's kind of built in. They know who to go to, which is great. Yeah, amazing. Okay, and then Charlene, you had added another one around stress. So any strategies you can suggest around stress that premarital couples are experiencing? And you mentioned like around finances and the wedding itself with planning and whatnot. So any kind of strategies around that?
Well, I mean, what comes to mind is paying attention to their own self-care and having
Hmm.
conversations around their work schedules, their sleep schedules. Are
Hmm.
they doing the basics? Are they taking time to move their bodies?
Yes.
Are they paying attention to, are they eating properly? Like, I mean, it sounds so basic,
Yes.
but you hear the stories and I hear the stories.
Yeah.
Just
Uh-huh.
just being mindful. Are they having the
Hmm.
communication around the finances? Are they able to be honest about that and talk it
Hmm.
through, right? And be
Hmm.
able to, do they have any strategies where or any systems that they follow that they feel that they can agree on to follow? Look at different systems
Hmm.
and choose a system that they both agree on to follow. But,
Like a system with money, you mean? Or
yeah,
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 yeah.
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 For the finances
Hmm.
piece, yeah, system with money.
Yeah.
That because
Hmm.
I mean, we are in an age and space now where there's so much information out there.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I think self-care, yeah, it's so funny you should mention that because this morning I wrote a blog on self-care and just how important it is. And how like I'm on this whole self-care journey right now because well anyway, we can talk offline about all that, but it's it's either like all or nothing. Like it's really either it's just completely neglected or I'm doing really, really well with it. But yesterday I had a mindset call, like in a webinar, and she was talking about self-care. And so I was asking, like, how to really build it in because I just find like the time isn't there. But then she was saying it's just like these small things, these tiny things to take care of yourself, like having water at your desk or like having a smoothie ready or, just like she gave the example of if your back is kind of aching, like just even having a hot pack on your back as you're sitting and working, but just you're still working, you're still productive and doing what you need to do, but you're still taking care of yourself at the same time. So it doesn't have to be like a full spa day away or a week, like booking a week vacation. It can be those little things, those little moments in time. And so yeah, today I wrote a blog on it and so I gave some examples of like just little things to take care of yourself. And so it is so critical. So, and yeah, sleep, like you said, is really important. Moving your body, eating properly, drinking water, even like, rubbing lotion on your feet, after a shower or before you get into bed. So those little things, it helps a lot just to be able to keep be mindful about it. Yeah. Yeah. So that's great. Thanks for mentioning that. All right. And then what would be, so last question, what would be one piece of advice if you had a premarital couple in front of you that you're meeting, what would be just one takeaway, one piece of advice that you'd really want to impart?
My encouragement would just be to have, hmm, maybe it's going to be more two things, but my encouragement is to always remember, always have that feeling in your heart why you decided to be with this person for the rest of your life, and then be patient. So don't let that feeling go. Don't let that thought go. Don't forget how it was that you both came together, why you both came together. What is it within your fiance that, for lack of a better term, arouses you? And be patient, because what you saw in that person, it still exists, but there's other things that are also there that you're going to have to deal with, and that will take time. And I think, to be honest, marriage is a designed marriage is designed to be like a lifetime of discovery, work,
Mm-hmm.
patience, love. A lifetime,
Mm-hmm.
not just 10 years, a lifetime. So choose well, obviously, enjoy the ride with who you have. What you
Mm-hmm.
loved about them is still in there, and it always will be. So,
Mm-hmm. I love that. I'm probably going to quote that nugget, that last part that you just said. Marriage is designed to be a lifetime of discovery, patience, and love. Did I get that right?
yep, yep.
I caught it. Okay. Okay. I think that was such a beautiful, like there was a beautiful way to say it. It's designed that way, right? Like that's God's wish for us in our lives and in our sense of building community and having that special other, that there's that commitment there, and it's designed by God to be a lifetime of discovery, patience, and love. Yeah, I love that. Thank you. All right, and Charlene, the last nugget of advice, what would you say?
My thoughts are, just wanted to say two things. Have build a friendship and have fun. Those are
Yeah.
two things. Like if you're friends and lovers, like if you're friends and that friendship where you cultivate that over the years, it could be something rich that you have, that
Yeah.
will help you. That person is supposed to be your person that you face the world
Mm-hmm.
with, and you're on the
Mm-hmm.
same team you're on. But if you have a friend,
Mm-hmm.
I think friendship is a big strength,
Mm-hmm.
that you if you can and it's a point of resilience that you can kind of I think so anyway. And when you're able, because if you have a good friend, you're able to just sit and t chat and you just enjoy each
Yes.
other's company. Um, it 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 um it to me it simplifies it, it takes some of the complexity out of it because you're having
Yes.
time, you're spending time with your friend. You're doing life
Mm,
with your friend and your lover, and being able
mhm.
to have fun. Um, you know, when you do, yeah, it's a good thing for premarital because you know when you get married and you're gonna find yourself into life, children,
Mhm.
careers,
Mhm.
paying bills, all the things. If you're doing this as friends, the conversations will look different, I would think. And also, if you're
Mhm.
intentional about having fun, you know, and a lot of couples don't make time to have fun. You
Yeah.
know, once they get into all this, I mean, I hear it all the time. They just
Yeah.
don't because they're so busy. But if you're intentionally building something that you're way of a life of discovery and meaning, you want to have
Mhm.
fun. You want to be intentional about cherishing the person and being a friend up to the person and enjoying the
Mhm.
person. So
Mhm.
I think those are
Mhm.
my
Mhm.
thoughts, friendship and fun.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. And that's very in line with Gottman's research too, right? In terms of the bottom three layers of the sound relationship house are the friendship foundation and just how important that is to be able to navigate difficult conversations and manage conflict readily and have that trust there, right? To be able to work through these stressors in life. Yeah, yeah, so good. Okay. Thank you so much, both of you, for your words of wisdom and encouragement for, the next generation and couples who are engaged to be married. And yeah, Pastor Duane, I had to giggle earlier when you had said like, "Oh, I'm not sure what communication strategies," because we talked about it in the workshop, in the premarital workshop. And then Charlene highlighted it. Oh, what about these seven principles? Oh yeah, right. That's what Melissa talked about in this workshop. So I had to giggle. But yeah, thank you for taking the time and thank you for all your work, right? Thank you for your dedication over the years to couples, whether premarital or longtime married, but thank you for your care and your wisdom and just being there for those who may be hurting or just need that guidance and direction and being able to, especially with premarital couples, starting them on the right footing, right? Giving them these tools in the work that you do. So thank you for that.
Hey, thank you for having us on,
Yeah.
Melissa. We appreciate it.
Very welcome.
Yes.